All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the live stream. Good to have you guys here. A bit of a late one today. It's about 8 o'clock my time, so a bit of a late stream compared to what we've been doing. But yes, here we are again. We are here again. We'll see who gets first in chat. I really wanted to stream today since it's Friday. It's the weekend. Everybody's probably off work, so it might be a good time to stream. We'll see who we get into the chat here. And we'll get started in just a few minutes on the topic today. We're going to be talking about what's there is there, right? You can't weaken it by thinking about it even harder. So we're going to talk about that today. It should be an interesting one. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. We'll see who we get in chat and get this pulled up. Then we'll go from there. You might hear my dog whining in the background temporarily. He's been very whiny today. Very whiny today. Katie first in chat. What's up? Hello, first live stream. Awesome, Katie. Welcome. Good to have you here. Welcome. How long have you been on the channel for? Come here. He has been a whiny tail today, so I'm sure he'll calm down momentarily. Might have something to do with the weather. It started to storm here. I don't think he's a fan. I don't think he's a fan of that. Let's see. About 2 years since I've been sensitized. Well, welcome to your first live stream. This will be a good one, so I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully help you figure some things out. Again, the topic for today, guys, is you cannot weaken OCD and anxiety by thinking about it harder. And I'm going to get into the details of that, of course. I'm going to make it make more sense. Rick, welcome to the chat. Jen, hello. I need to slow down. I'm talking too quick. Ophelia, hello. Sebastian, what is up, dude? Wonder Bro, what's your opinion on anxiety supplements? My anxiety has gone down, but I'm still using the acceptance advice. I've never tried any sort of like anxiety supplements. So I really don't have a firm opinion on that because I don't have any personal experience with that. I haven't done much research on that, so I really can't offer you a good opinion on that. I apologize. Happy to be a part of the team. Happy to have you here. Man, we've already got a full chat today. We might as well just jump into this one. I think we shall. You guys ready? So again, today we're going to be talking about you can't weaken anxiety or OCD by thinking about it harder. So I think this is going to be a good stream because if you've been following me for a while, you know my 2 keys: live your life as if you're already healed, and when those thoughts are there, don't follow them down the rabbit hole, don't engage with them, don't wrestle with them, don't tangle with them. They can be there if they want to be there, but the moment you start to fight with them, no, we're not going to do that anymore, and just allow that thought to be. Now, one place that I see a lot of people go wrong with my advice, and maybe it's the way I've worded it in certain videos, maybe it's the way I've worded it in certain streams, but one place that I see a lot of people go wrong with this advice is that they'll sit there and they'll continuously try to, and yes, there may be a lot of times throughout your day that you need to shut your rumination down and say, you know what, I'm ruminating. Right? That thought can be there. It is what it is. There may be a lot of times throughout your day, if you have a strong habit of fighting with those thoughts, trying to figure those thoughts out, that you do have to stop your rumination. I'm not saying that that's not true. That'll always be true. But there must come a point that when you say that to yourself, when you use that accepting inner voice, as we call it, and say, hey, you know what, this feeling's here, this thought's here, can be here, there must be a point where you then shift into just continuing to live, right? You can't sit there and just constantly keep engaging with that thought, trying to force it out, trying to do something with it, right? So what some people will try to do is they'll take the accepting inner voice and they'll turn it into something it's not, and they'll use it as an excuse to sit and think about their obsessions harder, to sit and think about their intrusive thoughts harder. So some people, like, let's use a classic case of health anxiety. Now, this will apply to anything, but we're going to use a classic case of health anxiety. Let's say someone has this obsessive thought that keeps popping up that says they're going to have a heart attack. and they continuously just sit around while they're having that thought and they engage with it, I'm not going to have a heart attack. I got all the scans done, I got all the tests done, and all day they're just engaging with the thought, I'm not going to have the heart attack. I'm using my accepting inner voice. That's not really the accepting inner voice. That is you just continuously engaging with the obsession, which makes the circuitry for that obsession in your brain just stronger, right? So your brain, even though you've got a good heart, you've got good intent. I know you're trying to talk more positively about your obsessions, but you're staying locked on them. You're staying engaged with them, which is not really going to prove anything to the brain. It's just going to tell the brain that this information, which is all a thought is just useless information. It's just going to tell the brain that this useless information that it's sending you is somehow important. So I know you got a good heart, I know you got good intent, but you can't weaken anxiety and OCD and all these obsessive thoughts by engaging with it harder. There's never going to come a point where you can think about your obsessions in just the right way and then they'll go away, right? And that's why we say things like reassurance doesn't really work. That's why we say things like, how can you go around and try to be this positive person all the time? And that doesn't seem to work. Your brain doesn't seem to care that you're trying to be positive, right? Because the brain is a computer. It only thinks in terms of, do they engage with this useless information in the head? If they do, it must be important. I'll keep sending it. So you can't weaken anxiety slash OCD by thinking harder about it. You can't weaken it by trying to think just the right thing about it. You've already tried that. I'm sure you've all already tried that. I know I tried that, right? And I have people come to me all the time, Wonder Bro, I'm telling myself the right things about these thoughts. Brain's not listening to logic. My brain's not listening to my reason. And I've said for years on the channel, the brain doesn't listen to logic. It doesn't listen to reason. We need non-engagement. So the thought can be there like a barking dog. Treat it like a barking dog. It can be there. You're not trying to push it out and you're not trying to keep it in. It's just there. If it started raining again outside and I could hear it outside, I would still just keep talking to you guys. It would just be kind of there. And that's how you're trying to treat your anxiety, whether it's in body or whether it's in mind. Now, again, yes, there is the accepting inner voice. You know, the two keys: live your life as if you're already healed and don't follow these thoughts down the rabbit hole. That basically means don't engage with these thoughts. Don't get into big conversations with these thoughts. You know, don't entertain them, but they're going to come, right? They're still going to come. That's the second thing that I wanted to mention here. Just because you've told yourself, hey, that thought is there, I'm not going to ruminate about that. And if you catch yourself ruminating, you say, oh, I'm ruminating, I'm just going to go back to letting that thought just be. And the moment you catch yourself fighting again, come in and say, yeah, we're going to go back to just letting that thought just be. When you do that, that doesn't mean the thought's just going to go. That's another misconception that some people have. Sometimes the thoughts get sticky, right? Sometimes the thoughts get sticky and that's okay, or it keeps coming back, or it's just hangs out for a prolonged period of time. That's okay too. When I say use that accepting inner voice, I literally only mean when you notice you start fighting with things again, blah, 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 blah. We got to get rid of that, but the thought itself may still keep coming back. It may still remain, okay? Treat it like a barking dog. Again, if it was to start raining outside right now, I would probably be able to hear it because I'm right here by the windows, but I would just let that be and I'd keep talking to you guys. So you can't force anything in or out. Whatever's there is allowed to be there. If you're trying really hard, okay, I need to use this guy's advice, I need to use the accepting inner voice, but the thoughts, they're not going away. Well, that's not my advice, right? My advice is if you're ruminating, we need to shut that down as many times as you catch yourself ruminating, right? But there will come a point where you're not ruminating anymore. The thought is just there. And if you're at that point where you're not really ruminating, you're not trying to figure it out, you're not trying to logic with it, you've gotten rid of all those bad habits. So if you're at the point where you're not ruminating anymore, the thought is just there, that's okay, that's fine. You're not doing anything wrong. I don't want you to think you're doing anything wrong. So how many of you are at the point now where you're not trying to logic with the thoughts, you're not trying to, like the title of this stream says, think harder about them? How many of you are at the point where you've gotten rid of all that, but you're still just upset that the thought is even there or the feelings are even there, right? If that's you, remember, you're not doing anything wrong. They're allowed to be there. You treat them like a barking dog. You treat them like background noise. You're not trying to push them. You're not trying to pull them. They're just there. You're essentially doing nothing, right? You're essentially doing nothing. You're just continuing to live your life as if normal, right? So you're telling your brain by doing that these thoughts are irrelevant garbage. And no, they don't feel good while they're there, but by not engaging with them, just letting them float around in your awareness, but not reaching for them, not pulling them, you're essentially teaching your brain that they're useless garbage, right? And this takes time. So you're very tempted to do something with these thoughts, but your job is basically nothing. You're very tempted to do something with these feelings, but your job is basically nothing. Okay, so again, but I feel like we got a little bit off track there. Let's get back to the to the topic of the stream. You can't think your way out of anxiety. You can't think harder about your intrusive thoughts and then they go away, right? You can't weaken anxiety slash OCD by thinking harder about it. Because then again, you're just telling the brain that this is useful information. It's not useful information. All these intrusive thoughts that are coming to your head are not useful information, right? So you can't think your way out of anxiety and OCD. You can't think harder about your anxiety and OCD and feel better, right? You're only going to feel worse. So even though you might have good intent, well, I keep telling myself, Wonder Bro, I'm not going to have a heart attack. I'm not going to go crazy, right? Even though you might have good intent, you're still more than likely just going around thinking about your obsessions, and that's just making them more important to the brain. So I'm not saying it's a problem for you guys to be positive from time to time. I'm not saying it's a problem for every now and then for you to tell yourself it's just anxiety. I'm not going to go crazy, right? I'm not saying that's even bad to have an accepting inner voice like that. But don't sit there and do it 24 hours a day. At some point, you come in, you say, you know what, I was ruminating, it's fine, just going to let that anxiety burn, just let that thought be, and then move on. Then move on. You might have to do that again if you start ruminating again, pretty quick, but still, just at some point, you got to keep moving on. You got to keep moving on. Does everybody get what I'm saying? And I wanted to do this stream because I feel like a lot of people will hear me say things like, as soon as you catch yourself ruminating, step in, cut that out, continue on with your day. You might have to do that a bunch of times throughout your day. I feel like people hear me say that and they think I'm telling them to get rid of the thought, which is not true. The thought may still be there. I'm telling you to get rid of rumination, right? So, but if that thought is just there and it's hanging out, don't think that you can think about it in the right way and you're going to make it go away. Don't think that you need to use a bunch of positivity. Speak your accepting inner voice if you catch yourself ruminating, but then just let that thought hang out. Just let it hang out. You don't need to do anything with it. You don't need to push it or pull it. You can sit there and try to pound positivity into your head all day long, but that's just giving it more importance. We're not trying to give it more importance. We're trying to not engage with it, right? We're trying to not engage with it. So I hope this stream kind of makes sense. I know the lines become a bit blurry, right? I know the lines become a bit blurry, and it's easy to take what I say and confuse it. It's easy to take what I say. What was that noise? It's easy to take what I say and turn it into something that is not, right? And I get that. So understand, man, when I say use that accepting inner voice, I don't mean try to fight with those thoughts. I don't mean try to prove them wrong. I just mean tell yourself, look, I'm not going to ruminate about that. The thought can be there if it wants to be there. Feeling can be there if it wants to be there. I'm going to go wash the dishes. That's all I mean. And then allowing those things to just hang out, right? Background noise. You're not trying to push them. You're not trying to pull them. They're just there. Basically, technically, your job is to do nothing, right? To do nothing. Just continue on with your life as if everything is fine, because truly it is. So I hope that helps somebody out there. Again, I always use the most cliche examples I can think of, and I'll say it one more time, then we'll be done with the point of today's stream. If I have somebody who thinks they're going to go crazy because of their anxiety, so they get these obsessive thoughts, you're going to go crazy, you're going to go crazy, you're going to lose it, you're going to go crazy, and they go around all day long, I'm not going to go crazy, I'm not going to go crazy, I'm not going to go crazy. They've got good intent. They're trying to be more positive, sure, but they're just engaging and interacting with that content. They're just engaging and interacting with the obsessions, which tells the brain that must be useful information. So they'd have a better time, okay, and they definitely get more healing if they went around and just let those thoughts and feelings hang out. And if they did start to ruminate, if they did start to get in their head, will I go crazy? Then they come in with their accepting inner voice. No, we're not going to ruminate. That thought can hang out. That thought can hang out. I'm going to go back to washing the dishes and let that thought hang out, right? That's far less engagement than trying to prove to themselves that they're not going to go crazy, they're not going to go insane and get on Google and all this and that. So I hope this stream helps somebody out there. I hope it makes more sense. Like I said, I know the lines can become blurry. I know the advice can become easily confused. I know with how much anxiety advice exists out there that it's easy to have this all just running together in your head and you really don't know what's going on, right? So I hope this clears some things up for some people, okay? So thank you guys so much, man, for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you're still in here. Let's do a quick roll call. Who do we still have with us? We're going to hang out with chat for a little bit. What's up, Rick? We still got Ophelia in here. Hi, I'm from Australia. Hello, welcome, liars. There's a link in the description. Does anyone know how to donate during a live stream? Yeah, if you'd like to support the channel, if you'd like to support me, there is the email for the PayPal right there. There's also a link in the description which will give a notification on screen. And I also have Cash App. If anyone would like the cash tag, I can put that in the chat. But completely optional. But thank you guys if you do decide to support the stream. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Tom, Wonderbro, you've helped me make massive progress. Having trouble with palpitations and adrenaline, trying to accept, but it keeps sticking somehow. I think I'm struggling with engaging after accepting. Excuse me, Tom, everybody. That came out of nowhere. Um, yeah, so this stream was basically made for you because a lot of people continue to just go back to engaging after they've decided they're going to leave something alone because they're trying to get that thought out of their awareness. They're trying to get that feeling out of their awareness. No, it's okay if the thoughts and feelings are in your awareness. You're essentially doing nothing with them. That's what acceptance is. The moment you start trying to do something with them, then you remind yourself, let's go back to doing nothing, right? That's basically your accepting inner voice or non-engagement response. Ideally, you want to keep that short, sweet, and simple, even if you do have to cut the rumination a lot. Even if you do notice you're trying to use logic against the thoughts, you want to keep that short, sweet, and simple. We want to spend far less time engaging than we are engaging, right? So yeah, and keep in mind, just because the thought's there doesn't mean you're ruminating. If the thought is there and you're sitting there fighting with it, going back and forth with it, trying to use logic, trying to reason with it, now you're ruminating. You need to step in and cut the rumination. But if the thought and feeling is just there and you're not ruminating, you don't even need to use an accepting inner voice. It's just there. You're doing the right thing. You're already doing the right thing. You don't need to use an accepting inner voice. So I see a lot of people. That's another thing, another good point. See a lot of people trying to use the accepting inner voice just because the thought is there. And there's no point. You don't need the inner voice. You don't need the accepting inner voice unless you're actively ruminating or worrying over your thoughts and feelings. But the thought just being there and sticky doesn't mean you're ruminating. And if that's the case, just let it be. Leave it alone. Just keep living your life, right? Just let it be what it wants to be. So I hope that helps. Google is the devil for anxiety. Google is absolutely the devil for anxiety. I couldn't agree more, Jennifer. Ava, hello, welcome to the stream. That's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Sky, hello, Sky, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys doing fantastic today. When I felt like I was about to panic, I still played video games while panicking. Did I respond to the panic the right way? I just sat there with the feeling. You absolutely responded to the feeling in the right way. Congrats. You didn't change anything. You didn't go for a compulsive behavior. You just kept doing what you were doing before the panic showed up. That's a good rule of thumb. If you just keep doing what you were doing before the panic showed up, then you're doing everything correctly. Don't change anything for the panic. It'll pass. Can watching videos like yours become a compulsion? Good question, Daniel. It can. It absolutely can. Anything can become a compulsion. If every time you feel anxious, you run to one of my videos because you think you have to have one of my videos in order to feel safe, would consider that a compulsion, yes. If you're watching my videos just because you love to be here, you love to hang out, makes you happy, whatever, that's fine. You're learning something, that's fine. But if you feel like you have to pull up a video every time you feel anxious, that's a bit different. In a nutshell, my life has kind of fallen apart. I hate to hear that, Sky. Well, welcome back. Hopefully we can help pick up your spirits. Things happen, right? Ups and downs. So I hate to hear that. You don't have to go into detail, of course, unless you'd like to. The ups and downs of life, right? The ups and downs of life. The ups and downs of life. Recently realized I have a CPTSD. I said that right. And another personal situation has gone funky. Well, again, I hate to hear that, man. I hate it anytime one of you guys are struggling or going through something, anxiety related or not. I hate to hear that. We're here for you, Sky, if you need us. Things will start looking up soon. They have a funny way of looking up. Got this, yes. Wonder Bro, what about when feeling pretty good and going well, then a thought of, oh, I know it's temporary anxiety will hit again. Just another thought. You don't have to engage with it, right? It can be there if it wants to be there. It can say what it wants to say. No thought is more important than another thought. No anxious thought is more important than the next thought, right? It's all still just noise in your head. It doesn't matter if it's saying, oh, this is going to be temporary, you'll be anxious again soon, or if it's a thought that says, oh, you're going to have a heart attack, or it's a thought that says you're going to go crazy, or a thought that says you're going to be really anxious, no thought is more important than the next thought, than the next thought, than the next thought. Your mind, it loves to generate thoughts. That's what it does. The only problem with the disorder is people get stuck on the thoughts by trying to engage with them and do something with them. Just let them flow, right? Just let them flow. Even if it's the same thought over and over, just let it flow for now. So thoughts are nothing more than noise in the head. Your brain loves to generate thoughts. Just let it generate thoughts and stay out of it. Stay out of it, right? I've been using videos like yours for short-term relief, but I also love the content and the way you put your knowledge across. Yeah, it's really up to the person to decide if they're using my content for compulsion purposes or not. You'll have to just, you'll have to brainstorm and ask yourself that question and be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with being here because you like to be here and learning the advice and stuff, right? But is it the best thing to feel like you have to have my videos? No. No. Thank you all for the love. Absolutely, Scott. We love you. What about anxious feelings that you don't like but don't necessarily arise because of a thought? They're to be left alone too, right? Don't confuse it. We don't necessarily tackle feelings or thoughts in different ways. It's still just something that's appearing and we leave it alone. It's appearing in your body, it's appearing in your mind, and we leave it alone. There's nothing to engage with, there's nothing to do about it. The more you try to do about it, the more you get worked up, right? So the point of acceptance is to realize that the more I try to do something about these thoughts and feelings, the more worked up I become. What's up, Blued Up? What about a persistent physical symptom, head pressure that won't go away, even not anxious, have tried accepting, etc.? I'm not a doctor. If it's something that you feel like's been persistent and it's something else maybe causing it, I don't know. It's always good to go get cleared. It's always good to go talk to your doctor about things. I will always recommend acceptance for anything anxiety related. I will always recommend acceptance for anything, even if it's a lingering symptom that's been there for a long time. I'll always recommend acceptance because think about it, to go against what already is futile. It already is, right? So I'll always recommend acceptance for whatever is there. But if you are convinced that it could be something else, go get cleared. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. Talk to a doctor. But assuming that it is anxiety related, which I'm going to assume it is because you've had it for so long now, then the only option you really have, we tend to talk about acceptance like it's an option, right? And that always cracks me up. I used to, and still sometimes I do, I'll be talking to people and it's almost like we're talking about something that's an option. It's really not an option if you think about it. Acceptance is the only logical choice that is there. So we sometimes talk about acceptance like it's an option, but really is it an option? Do you really have an option? Whatever's there is there. It's already there. So to fight against it and to try to do something about it is futile. And that's one way you can start to look at acceptance that might help you out. Might help you out a little bit. I'm going to run across the room real quick, guys, and grab a water. We're at the half-hour mark. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting. All right, beautiful people, welcome back. That didn't take me too long. Big part of my own problem, my own worst enemy, aren't we all, right? Got to accept that I've got to allow room for growth, love, friendship, and forgiveness. Excuse me, I am burpy. I couldn't agree with you more, Sky. And we got your back, man. We got your back. Hit that like button right on the butt. Yes, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Having a weekend with my girls. That's awesome, Jen. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I hope everybody has a good weekend, man. No matter what you're feeling, remember it's temporary. No matter what thought is lodged in your brain at the moment, let it bark. Leave it alone. It's not going to be lodged for long, especially if you just leave it alone. There's nothing you need to do about it. It is temporary, so, and I know sometimes that falls on deaf ears, especially if you're really feeling some big thoughts and big emotions and big feelings right now, but take it from me, it is temporary. You don't have to believe or trust anything that your anxious brain wants to spit out at the moment. You can leave it alone. You have the option to leave it alone. You have that option there always. And that's the right option. Don't engage. I might go for a long walk into the hills. Hey, nothing like some nature, right, to help clear the mind. If you do decide to do that, Sky, I hope you enjoy it. Checking the forecast here. Light rain. How have you been, Wonder Bro? I've been good, Sky. I've been good. Nothing's really changed on my end. Nothing really changed on my end. Same old, same old. Yeah, just taking it day by day. Just taking it day by day. I know you haven't been the best. I was going to ask you how have you been. I know you haven't been the best, but hope that starts to clear up for you soon. And it will. It will. Life has a funny way of working out. You know, we're always going to have our ups and downs. It's unavoidable. We're always going to have our ups and downs. You can make it a lot easier on yourself with how you react to those ups and downs. But as far as trying to avoid the ups and downs altogether, it's just not possible, right? So we're always going to have our ups and downs. And I think with everything you've learned here on the channel and all the different skills and tools you have, that you'll eventually, if you haven't already, you'll eventually make this a lot easier on yourself, whatever you're going through. Try to introduce a certain level of acceptance, right? Try to introduce that. It should make it just a little bit easier on you to deal with. Because, I mean, like I said, fighting against what is, right, will always be futile. Thank you so much, Daniel, for the $10 PayPal, for the $10 tip. Thank you so much, Daniel. Can we show love in the chat for Daniel, please? Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. Internet high five. Thank you so much, dude. We might get a streak started today. Thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate it, man. Seriously, means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. My computer says rain incoming in about 3.5 hours. Like how specific it is. When you're down, there's nowhere to go but up. That's true. That's absolutely true. Jennifer, thank you for the purple hearts. Rick, thank you for the purple hearts. Hey, regardless of your past, Sky, regardless of your past, you know, how does that old saying go? It's the most cliche thing in the world, but I love it. I don't know exactly how it goes. Something about the past can't be changed, but the future is in your hands, right? I didn't say it as cool as they say it, but it's absolutely true. We can't change the past, we can't go back and change the past, but the future is in our hands. So we work with what we got and we go from there. Ophelia, thank you so much for the Purple Heart. Really appreciate it. It's good to see you, Crystal. Welcome popping into the live stream. Good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday, a fantastic weekend. Do something you enjoy. I won't be here through the weekend. I've got some plans, but maybe we'll pick back up the stream starting Monday, right? You guys seem to be enjoying them. I'm enjoying them, so who knows? Rick, thank you so much for the $5 tip, man. I appreciate you. Rick and Daniel, thank you guys so much. That takes us to 15. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Internet high five. That's become a thing now, so we're just going to keep doing it. Um, Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you so much, Daniel. I really appreciate the love and support. Tips are always optional, guys, but if you would like to support the stream and myself, email is right up here, and there's a link in the description. Thank you guys so much. Always optional, but I truly appreciate it. I don't know if anyone believes in such things. However, I've seen a heap of synchronized events. I'm hit or miss when it comes to things like that. Part of me does, part of me doesn't. I try my best to just go with the flow, right? Yes, exactly, Jennifer. Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thank you for the Purple Hearts, Jen. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jennifer. Hey, there's Rick giving me that high five. I love it. Give me just a second, guys. Hold on. Hold that. Hold. There we go. I was muted. Sorry about that. That's the only downside to streaming at like 8:30. Nobody knows I'm streaming. And then sometimes people will knock or whatever, and the dog goes absolutely crazy. Nova was not bad for that. She wouldn't do that. But this guy, he's got something against knocks. I don't know what it is, but he will absolutely lose his mind over knocking. I apologize for that. Are you going on a date, Wonder Bro? I am a man of mystery. I'm old, crusty, but yes, delicious. I don't think you're old and crusty, Sky. I think you're beautiful. I think you're beautiful. If anyone else in the stream, man, has any anxiety questions, feel free to ask them. I've seen a lot of new faces here recently, and just to catch you guys up, that's sort of how we do things around here. We've always got the title of the stream. We do that in about the first 20 minutes or so, depending on what we're talking about, and then after that we just hang out with chat. But I'm not opposed to having, of course, having anxiety questions. You can ask those questions. That's really what this half of the stream is for you to ask your anxiety related questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. I do the same thing when someone knocks on my door, just lose my mind. Yeah, that's the only downside to streaming so late. People don't expect that I'm actually streaming. Please say hi to Instant Mint for me. I will get my PC working again soon and jump on Discord. Will do, Sky, will do. I will try to remember to do that. It's not old, it's experience, yeah. It's just experience points. You can't see it because I obviously don't have the best lighting right now, but I am turning gray, man. There's so much gray. I know you can't see it. It looks like this is just a nice pitch black, solid beard with this lighting. But I'm getting some serious gray going on. Some serious gray going on. But like Jen said, it's not old. It's experience. It's experience. I like that. I'm gonna steal that and use that, Jen, to to self-soothe myself over my gray. I'm going to take that one. It's funny because he's like a garbage disposal. I'm talking about the dog. He's like a garbage disposal. So they had just finished dinner. They're like, does he want this? Yeah, he wants it. He will always want it. Streaming late also means we don't get to see Mint. That's true. That's true. Mint is usually asleep like 4 or 5 p.m. my time. I know this because every time I stream around that time, she comes in and tells me I'm keeping her up. That is my go-to catchphrase. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice. Yes. We used to tell Maddie that on the stream all the time and make people flustered. Good times. Good times. Sanada, hello. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Welcome in. Okay, as you lovely, wonderful people make me feel better. Hey, we're happy to help, Sky. One big happy community here, right? We try to help each other out. We try to help each other out when we can. You spoke the name, now the Maddie must appear. Yes, I said the magic words. Where's she at? Where's she at? The magic words have been spoken. She'll be upset that she missed this one. She always is. I always get like a comment from Maddie, usually within a day of the streams being uploaded, if she wasn't there. And the comment is always something like, I missed it. I missed it again. Arr! Bunch of emojis. Which I think is great. I love her dedication. I love her dedication. It's amazing. It's awesome. How are you feeling, Sonata? I know you've been going through it, I think. I keep up with that Discord a little bit. So I know we're supposed to talk here soon for the coaching. Maddie rocks. Maddie does rock. Maddie rocks. Maddie is my rock. She's trying to convince me to try cow tongue, which will never happen, for the record. I'd like to state that for the record. I have a question about anxiety. Do you feel it's less about how we think others sees us and more about how we fundamentally view ourselves? I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. It's both an internal perspective that needs to be changed and an external perspective that needs to be changed. And I think those two worlds merge together. I think they do. See, I think it's a bit of both. I think you could work on both of those. I think once your internal image starts to change, then the external, right, starts to change as well. I do believe that. Crazy to say, I'm doing good, better than most people around me. Yes, yes. Love it. This guy was thinking about that today. I see people not giving two shits, and I'm like, I want to be them. Well, when you see people that don't give two shits, right? The common theme with these people is that they're just not they're just not locked on to anything, right? They're allowing their feelings and thoughts to freely flow. There's no resistance. It's just a natural flowing of their thoughts and feelings. They're not locked on to what are other people, they might get thought, they might get an occasional thought. Everybody gets an occasional thought from time to time. They might get thoughts that say, what do other people think about me? But these people don't stay on that. They let their thought just flow to the next thought, right? They don't stay stuck on these thoughts of lack. They don't stay stuck on these thoughts of I can't do it. They may get these thoughts, but they don't stay stuck on them. They may get these thoughts, but they don't engage with them. So get over here. No, quit, quit. A $10 tip from Sonata? Sonata, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Internet high five. Drop some purple hearts for Sonata. Quit. I can't change my tip goal with you. Stop it. God bless it. God bless it. Thank you so much, Sonata. I really appreciate it. Rick, and I believe it was Daniel. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting. I really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. I feel after opening up to my family about anxiety at the gatherings, they are watching me harder. Thankfully, I do okay, but a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, if you think about why does this person have certain issues? Why does that person have certain issues? It's all going to come back to some sort of mental habit. We all get thoughts. I might get a thought from time to time that says, I don't know, some sort of lack of confidence thought, some sort of thought about my videos or my streams, but I don't engage with those thoughts. If I did, I'd probably slowly become a person who didn't feel very confident on stream, right? So really all it starts as a thought that then gets engaged with to the point that it becomes a belief, engaged with to the point that it starts to breed, basically. So everything really can be traced back to a certain thought. Everything can really be traced back to some sort of mental activity. I just got to the point of not giving a crap. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm gonna make you sit and watch an hour of the commercials with the dogs and the arms of an angel song right after we're done here. You're gonna sit and you're gonna watch every second of it. And you're gonna be thankful for the life that you have. Which part of America are you from, Wonder? I'm on the East Coast. I just got to a point of not giving a crap about others and what they say or think. They can shove their opinions up their butt. There you go. So in a sense, is it considered OCD then? Nowadays, they're trying to push for OCD just being a symptom of anxiety instead of a completely separate diagnosis because it doesn't make sense for OCD to be a completely separate diagnosis. I've never worked with anyone, like let's say with my one-on-one coaching, for example, I've never worked with anyone in the 8 years I've been doing this that didn't have some trace of OCD, which is basically just obsessive compulsive, right? Not being able to stop and leave things alone, certain thoughts and feelings. So they're trying to push more and more these days to make OCD just a symptom of anxiety rather than a separate diagnosis, which I couldn't agree more with. I couldn't agree more with. You're going to have thoughts about other people. You're going to have thoughts about people judging you and stuff. You can't stop thoughts from coming, but you can quit engaging with them because the moment you engage with them, now you're this person who thinks everybody's looking at you, everybody's judging you. We're all going to have thoughts that we're being judged. We're all going to have thoughts from time to time that we're not this or we're this and we're not this, but we're this and we're not this. It's whether or not you engage with all of that, right? That brings more life into it. So we're all going to have these thoughts that come from insecurity, right? But it's whether or not you engage with it and fuel it up. But yeah, thank you guys so much, Sonata and Rick and Daniel. Am I leaving anybody out? I hope I'm not. Sonata and Rick and Daniel. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for the tips today, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the stream. Internet high five to all of you guys. Really appreciate it. Think about any of your insecurities, man. Think about anything that makes you feel uneasy. Doesn't it start as a thought, right? And I'm not saying you can't have uneasy feelings, obviously, or anxiety or whatever from time to time without a thought. But what I am saying is think about it 99% of the time, just for a second. 99% of the time it starts with a thought. 99% of the time it's then influenced and fueled by a thought, right? So a lot of this just comes down to thoughts that are nothing more than noise in the head that can be left alone. They can be left alone. They don't have to be engaged with. We tend to think people are judging us when in reality they aren't. Yeah, I mean, within 60 seconds, people have forgotten. People have, if you do something like, let's say, accidentally embarrassing, within 60 seconds, somebody's already moved on to the next thought. I mean, we think that the world revolves around us. So if I do something embarrassing, or if I don't do something just right, or if I make a mistake, then everybody's thinking about it. Everybody's obsessing about it, right? And it's just not how it is. The rational mind comes when your cortex kicks in a little bit higher than your amygdala, which isn't going to happen when you're in fight or flight, by the way. It happens when you're in rest digest, but you can't get to rest digest trying to fight your way to rest digest because that's stressful. So you can't get to rest digest part of your brain by trying to fight your way there. But while you're in fight or flight and the amygdala has, we'll say, control, you're not going to get many rational thoughts. And to get upset about that and then try to fight your way in there and engage with that is not going to get you any closer to the rational part of the brain. It's actually going to get you further away from the rational part of your brain. So you just kind of accept that you have this blindfold on right now called fight or flight, and that your thoughts are going to be very irrational, and you don't engage with them, you don't resist them, you don't try to figure them out, you just move on, and that'll get you closer to going back into the rest digest part of your brain where rational thought process exists, right? When the cortex, the prefrontal cortex, starts to take higher priority over the amygdala. So the amygdala, while activated, has the ability to stop rational thought process from passing through, right? And that's why you feel so irrational while you're anxious. Now, you can't fight your way out of that. Again, that's just stressful and will put you further into fight or flight. You accept what's happening, you understand what's happening, and you don't engage with it. That's the quickest way to continue to get out of that amygdala part of the brain and into the rational part of the brain. Is engaging with thoughts adding more fear? It's adding more stress, and it could be adding more fear depending on what you're saying to yourself, right? But it's either way, it's not the way to go because it's telling the brain that these thoughts are important when they're not important, and that's why we say just use that non-engagement inner voice, leave them alone. One way to look at it is that every moment of your life will be washed away soon. Is this a negative approach, though? What do you think? I think it depends on the person, right? I don't think it's a negative approach, but I could see how somebody would take that and turn it into a negative approach. So it really depends on the person, I would say. Yes, we are so consumed with ourselves and how we feel that we think other people are. Yeah, we always think that we are the center of the universe, right? When in reality, if I did something embarrassing or had a slip up on stream or whatever, people might talk about it for a little bit, and then how long would it be? 15 minutes before someone moves on to something else? We're not the center of the universe. We're the center of our universes, but we're not the center of the universe. You see the difference there? We are the center of our universe, but we're not the center of the universe. So you got to put that in perspective and stop thinking that, of course you can't control your thoughts, right? But you got to stop thinking that everybody's out to get you or everybody is always thinking about you. Everybody's always judging you, right? Everybody is the center of their own universe. So, oh, that water's calling my name. I got up and got me a water, and then I set it right back down across the room because I'm smart. Give me just a second, guys. I'm not even going to switch the screen. Yes. Yes, Sky, I agree with you. I don't believe in separation, but that is a can of worms that we don't have time to open up tonight, but I would love to. Maybe we could do a stream about that one day. That's more of a philosophy style stream. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would love nothing more to have a section of my channel or a playlist of my channel that pertains to just philosophy because I love it. It's one of my favorite, it's one of my biggest hobbies. I would love to do videos on stuff like that, but the problem is I feel like a lot of people here are sensitized, and if they watch some of those videos, they may freak themselves out. They may make themselves worse because it's topics that they're probably not ready to hear about just yet. And I don't mean they're bad topics. I just mean they'll probably overthink it. Um, so I'm torn. Do I start a playlist on my channel for philosophy and stuff like that, the deeper side of things, or do I stay away from it because my anxious people are going to click on it and overthink the hell out of it? I don't know what to do. In your opinion, what holds people the most from recovery? Just that one big word, resistance, right? Whatever's there needs to be there. You're not trying to push anything out. You're not trying to pull anything in. It's just there. It's just there. So that one big word, resistance, is what keeps a lot of people held back. We are going to be wrapping this one up in about 5-ish minutes, guys. About 5-ish minutes. I'm surprised I haven't had a pee yet either. Luis, what's up, dude? Shit, Wonder Bro, thanks for everything. Just enjoy normal life here. I love it, man. Love it. I would love something like that. I've been considering it for a while. But last year, me would have analyzed the crap out of it. Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's the problem with exploring deeper topics on this particular channel. I might need to start an entirely different channel for something like that. Like Sky said, vacate the Matrix channel. Yeah. Yeah, that might be something best left to a completely different channel, but that's a lot of work starting a whole new channel. I don't know. I would love to do something like that though, because don't get me wrong, as much as I love to talk about anxiety and sensitization, I'd say I've said those two words probably about 13 trillion times in my life by now, and I'd love to switch it up a little bit, but not that I'll ever give up on what I'm doing. I love what I do. Obviously, it's the most rewarding job in the world. But I would love to switch it up a little bit. Can you just put a warning on the playlist? Maybe something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. And really, can I hold myself at fault if somebody clicks on a title of a video that they probably shouldn't click on because they're not ready to talk about that just yet? Can I really blame myself for that? I don't know. Who knows? One day we might start a philosophy style playlist and we'll talk about all these deep topics that really make your brain go, huh. But for now, we'll keep doing what we do. Sky, thank you for being here, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. So, real quick, I just want to give a huge shout out. I just want to give a huge shout out to Sonata, Rick, and Daniel. Thank you guys for the support today on the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. I appreciate any form of interaction with the stream. Helps boost the channel. So I think the only thing else I got to say is if you're interested in the coaching one-on-one, if you think that'll help you out, reach out, send me a DM on any of the Vacate Fear social media. And yeah, I think that's everything, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And until next time, as always, stay awesome.